Happy Friday, guys. It's Funny Friday with a twist. Well, at least that's what I'm calling it, just because I want to share a funny story that has some life lessons in it. So if you had read my other post from a couple days ago about a conference that I had gone to, the High Performance Live in San Diego, I mentioned briefly that I believe there was a girl that wanted to fight me there. So to give a little bit of background with that, me and my friend Lourdes went to this conference, so excited about it. Like, I went already expecting great things because I've read Brendan's books, I've taken his online courses, so I knew it was gonna be amazing. What I did not expect was the registration process. You had the opportunity to register the day before, the night before, and we're like, we don't need to do that. I've been to other conferences, and getting an hour early the day of always seemed to suffice. So when we got there an hour early on the day of, it was pandemonium. I mean, I had no idea that many people were gonna be there, and that many people also thought that they could check in the morning of. So the lines were insane. And so one line went all the way across the hotel, and we were at the end of it, and then it started moving really fast, and all of a sudden it just broke, and then you were in this area of registration area, and there was really no clear lines. Anyways, ended up then just staying in a spot for 20 minutes and not moving at all. But you kind of saw movement around. And so my friend Lourdes went to go look around and went to go look to find another spot. And so finally, I'm still there for 10 more minutes in our spot, just realizing me and the people in front of me were not moving anywhere. And she said, I'm in a line that's moving faster, so come over here. So I began, get on the phone. I'm like, okay, I'll go in that direction, then I'll call you to flag me down. So as I went to move, a girl that was probably this close to me, she says, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, I was completely taken off guard. For anybody that knows me knows that I have a hood background. And so, but I just wasn't expecting someone to talk to me like that there. And that's what it is. And so when she's like, "Where are you going?" And I realized she's trying to bully me. But since I was taken off guard, I didn't respond the way that I normally would. I wasn't even thinking straight. And so when she did it for a minute, I was like, thinking I have to explain myself. Then all of a sudden, because she's like, "Are you trying to cut lines?" And I'm like, all of a sudden I realized, oh wait, hold on a second. This girl's trying to punk me. So I was like, oh, okay, wait, you've got it mistaken. Just because I'm at this conference, don't think, that, you can just talk to me any kind of way. It seemed like she was just used to being a bully. And not to be wrong, but she wasn't trying to be intimidating. And she probably is used to being intimidating. She looked like she was probably a professional soccer player or a wrestler, I knew that I was like, man, I'm gonna have a run for my money with this girl if it were to go anywhere. But we're literally just and I usually don't think of someone as taller than me, even though I'm pretty short. Even when people are 6 foot, 6'4", I always feel like I'm as tall as them. In this moment though, I realized that she was taller than me because I had to we were just staring at each other, just looking at each other. And so I said, I am going to my friend. She's over there. She's like, "Oh, so did it?" I don't even really know what she's saying. And I said, I am going to my friend. And so I literally had to scoot because it was so packed, guys. I had to scoot almost against her while we're still looking at each other in the faces, and my adrenaline is going. I'm kind of not thinking straight. I find my friend Laura. She's in the back of a line, She didn't go and cut anywhere. She literally gone into a back of another line that was moving forward. And that's key for what I'm going to share in a minute. So I'm telling her, I'm like, this girl, I swear, just wanted to fight me. And of course, she's like, who? And it was so much. I was like, okay. So in that moment, after I just started like getting my emotions under control, I was like, I'm pretty proud of myself. The fact is that number one, before Jesus, just a few words, and I would have probably punched her in the face, just being honest. But even just a couple of years ago, maybe not even a year ago, let's be honest, that I would have gone off, or I would have said, do we have a problem? Like I would have instigated or like kept things going instead of diffusing. I would have been like, what's the problem? So I was super proud of myself that now an automatic reaction was just like, yeah, I'm gonna stand up for myself, but I'm not going to provoke a fight, or provoke things escalating. And I learned a lot of that through, emotional healing, transformation, Jesus, 100%. And then also in addition, I have some amazing friends that are in martial arts. One of my good friends, Ricky, and then my friend that I learned self-defense from. And one thing that I always learned from them was, here they are, like black belts, can kick people's butts. And when put in a situation, I've been with Ricky in situations where guys are like trying to pick fights with him and he just doesn't go there. He doesn't like, back down, or like, he just mellow, never, like, he's avoiding a fight. And so that's something that I've always learned, that I learned from him and from people in martial arts. I'm like, okay guys, I need that. So I was really proud of myself. And even thinking back, I'm like, man, I'm super proud of myself that I didn't go off, And for some people that may not seem like a big deal, but when you're someone that goes off, it's a huge deal. When you realize too, it's just not even part of my makeup anymore. But to go to a step further, so I was like celebrating the wins, and that's one thing that's important, is like to celebrate wins, to celebrate every single win that you have, little, big, every single inch of movement, effort, celebrate it. So I was like feeling really good. But then I took a step further, and then I went into self-evaluation. I was like, okay, now I've grown a lot, and in that moment I did react. Awesome that the reaction was through a growth standpoint, but how could have I even made that even a better situation or a better outcome? Number one, I could have stopped and breathed instead of feeling the need to just respond anyways. I could have just stopped, breathed, which we learn in emotional intelligence, and responded instead of reacted. And then how could have I responded better? If I wanted to diffuse and also have an opportunity to maybe make a connection with this girl, would been like, hey, I'm not trying to cut, like coming from that point instead of like, I ain't trying to cut. That's how it was. I'm not trying to cut. I'm not trying that. My friend is in the back of another line that's been moving. I've been in this line for now an hour, 20 minutes just sitting here not moving. So I understand like we're all frustrated. You're more than welcome to come to the end of the other line with me, with my friend that seems to be moving faster. Now, again, I don't know how she would have responded. I don't have any control over that. But I was thinking, that is how I want to respond in the future. Is like, okay, instead of just getting through this and controlling my own action, how can I actually improve a situation? How can I actually not just be like, okay, survive it, but how could I make it even better? So that is my story. If you guys know me, like what a big deal that was. But it's just so cool. Growth is so cool. And celebrating wins, and then also evaluating yourself in truth and compassion, but evaluating yourself in truth and be like, okay, what could I have done to do that better? So that's my funny Friday story with a twist.